Other interesting cultural news, you have Suits winning the 2023 streaming wars. Now, of course, Suits is the best show, one of the best shows ever, obviously, because every man should always suit up. I mean, it's a whole show around the whole culture of wearing a suit. I mean, back in the day, every man wore a suit. Truth be told, I even wear a suit when I'm going to shopping at Walmart and other big box stores. Partially because I do it on the way back from business meetings to make my, maximize efficiencies. But nevertheless, I think every man should wear a suit by default. Perhaps one or two exceptions throughout his lifetime, maybe. I mean, obviously swimming would be a little bit awkward, but I think it'd be a good default when you get back to society. But nevertheless, allegedly it also had something to do with law, interestingly enough. And it looks like they won the top stream in 2023. Now, this is thanks to an article by Kara Reinhardt over at LinkedIn News. And they noted that the most streamed show, quote, the most streamed show of 2023 aired its final episode in 2019. Suits set a viewership record in the fourth 4-year history of Nielsen's annual tracking, dethroning previous record holder The Office in a huge year for library series. Now, the internet availability on both Suits and Peacock gave Suits an advantage over other show exclusives to a single platform. Overall, Americans' time streaming shows and movies was up 21% over 2022. Jeez Louise. There's so many discrepancies and disconnects in the United States. Every day, people complain about hyperinflation. The job market's rough, it's terrible, and people keep watching more TV and streaming. That's ridiculous. Unless you're listening to this while you're doing some admin work or driving, obviously. But if they're tuning in, I mean, I guess it should be too surprised. Suits was a great show. I've never actually seen the whole thing, but I've seen enough highlights to understand it's a great show about suits and a little bit about law, apparently. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, I also think it's kind of a cultural significance of Hollywood is running out of ideas. Now, granted, they haven't had many original ideas lately. It seems like they just turn out more and more of the same. And they have these crutch. There's a lot of rumors. Maybe they'll come back for a reboot. I think The Office is supposed to have one. It's just, in terms of reboots and sequels, there's only a very, very few times in history where the sequel of a movie or TV show actually was more successful than the original. One of the best exceptions is John Wick, and I would also contribute that to being Keanu Reeves being an exceptional actor. And of course, in that film, he famously always wears a suit. That's all men should. So it'll be interesting to see, does this show continue to propel to the top of the charts? And hopefully, every man will continue. And interestingly enough, hopefully they'll increase the rate at which they always wear a suit. But as I always say, time shall tell. Again, thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of February, so click that number. I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment, a thumbs up or a thumbs down is a great way to give me a little additional insight as well as some tips on how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.